Hello guys, so I want to talk about my thoughts in regards to the Pulse Chain community. We've had a lot of developments over the last few hours, and there's some important things that I think I should cover. And some of these are a little bit spicy, so yeah. So Twitter has started banning people sharing alternative links to buy hex, that is your swap.hadron.pro and I think ethhex.com. They started saying that some of these websites are harmful. They say that one of their partners has described them as harmful websites. And I think that we have to acknowledge that some things were done wrong in order to get us to this point that we are right now. And I think it's important. But I think that that's one conversation that many do not want to have in the community. But I think it's important. I think one of the things we did wrong is how we defended Hex when Hex had attacks from several players in the space, right? We've always wanted to respond by attacking the other side, right? Saying that, okay, you say Hex is a scam, but you promoted this coin. Your coin is down, has downtime. Our coin doesn't have downtime. And I think Richard famously used to say that what happened to all the black founders? All the black founders have problems. They are wanted by the SEC. All the black founders have this. And one of the things that was effective in marketing, but that was also things that create an animosity between the Hex community and other communities. It creates issues where they are not as sympathetic when other things when things turn around the other way. Because if you start having a situation where the day you have charges, then you're now seeing Uniswap responding. You start to see MetaMask responding. You start to see Twitter responding. That's not good. Of course, we do want a vertically integrated ecosystem, but we don't want to start thinking about building our own social network or own social media. Those things are they just create more headaches than not. And they create a perception that, look, everyone thinks these guys are bad. So I think that the way we did this marketing was not such a good idea. Now, if you want to take a look at, this has happened not just with other people, but within the community, right? There was a guy who used to make videos for Hex, Pulse Chain, Hex Joker. He came with some criticisms and then he got attacked, then he attacked back, then he got attacked, then he attacked back, and then it creates a cycle of escalating. And what it does is it pushes someone who was for you against you. Because now they have to, whenever you hit them with a point, they have to come back and outdo you. So now they are hunting for negative information in regards to Hex, Pulse Chain, and the ecosystem. So they're turning people who support us into haters. Now this thing has happened many times. I've seen that sometimes when I make videos that might seem to be perceived as FUD by many people, you see people start to unsubscribe on the channel. And I've made comments about it in previous videos, that there's definitely an attitude of not being responsive or not wanting to take any criticism at all and calling it FUD, which if you cannot acknowledge that you've made a mistake, you can't improve. If you cannot acknowledge that some things that you're doing are not working out, you can't improve. I spoke about Hex Joker. Hex Joker famously said that, guys, this outright marketing thing, not a good idea. And it's clearly not a good idea, right? I mean, people have been gone. It's definitely partially responsible for this. Now, I'm not saying that if there was no outright marketing, this wouldn't have happened. But certainly, we would have much more support, which is something that I think we need. Because if everyone in the crypto space is looking for reasons why the SEC is right, instead of looking for reasons why this is wrong, which are abundant. It's wrong for Uniswap to start banning certain cryptocurrencies. It's wrong for Twitter to jump into to this case, which has nothing to do with them, where there is there's no wrongdoing alleged. There's no Department of Justice case. It's a civil case. Civil case is a private matter. So this is a civil case. But for all these entities to start to be jumping and getting involved in a civil case is not logical. It's absolutely not logical at all. But my point is that we have to acknowledge if there were mistakes that were made. Now, I want to give another example, right? Sony was removed off Twitter for some days, and a lot of Mexicans came out in defense of him, which is the right thing to do. But what happened was a few days later, there was a little bit, he noticed an issue with PulseX, and he mentioned that issue. Just by mentioning the issue, instead of people saying that, well, you're wrong or not, they started to bash him now. So, in mentioning the issue, he's bringing to light a problem that's there. But for that, he starts getting bashed by people. And this is a guy who's making 5-10 videos a day promoting it, dropping tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet. And if you can get to a point where he's not holy enough or he's not good enough just because of one tweet that may be factually correct, but you don't like it, you think that it should be swept under the rug, That's not a good strategy. And again, if you cannot acknowledge that there's some wrong things that have been done, you cannot stop them and improve on that. So I think that one of the major issues is attacking people aggressively and causing this spiral of escalating and escalating and escalating until someone has no choice but to be anti. I'll give you an example of Eric Wall. Now, Eric Wall at this point, I think, is definitely anti-Hex. He's definitely. And now he does pretend every now and then to throw in statements that make him seem to be fair and objective, but he's absolutely not fair, absolutely not objective. I'll tell you the reason why I think he's not. Hex, PulseChain launches, it becomes the second largest blockchain, is silent. He doesn't tweet a thing about it. The moment PulseX had an issue, he's up there talking about it. And then it's always, I told you, I was right. So any negative news, he's jumping on it. That tells you any positive news, he ignores it or he doesn't see it. That tells you that a lot of people are now so far on the other side that they can only find the information that is negative towards you. That's not the same thing that happened with XRP. XRP, the advantage that they had when they were fighting the case is that they had support of the crypto ecosystem. So even as their legal team is preparing arguments, there's also other people on Twitter who are coming up with their own arguments, coming out with points that they might not have seen. And I can tell you this, that they benefited a lot from that. Because now you've got a crowd-funded legal defense, the same way we have when it comes to development of crypto. How is crypto developed? It's developed through open source means. And then you can have an open source defense, or you can have a situation which you are in right now, where the crypto people, the believers in crypto, are going out of their way to find reasons why these projects are wrong. That's not where you want to be. You don't want to be in a point where everyone is looking for reasons why you're wrong. You want to be in a point where everyone is looking for reasons why you're right. Especially people who we have the same ideological beliefs, we look at the life the same way. They should not be fighting for the other side. But in essence, we have got to acknowledge the fact that in some instances, we did drive those people to do that. If you're using other people's pain as marketing, that, oh, look, your coin went to zero. Ha, ha, ha. Mine has no downtime. Hey, I don't know how good that is. If you take a look at what happened with Luna, some people decided to delete themselves because of the pain that they went through that. And using that as marketing is not a great strategy. It leaves, no matter how good your product is, it leaves a bad taste in someone's mouth and it makes them an enemy for life. So I think that in terms of strategy, we definitely did the wrong strategy. Another thing that I think that could be better is obviously the branding of it. Our brand right now, I think, does not accurately reflect who we are as a community. The community believes in self-sovereignty. The community believes in the fundamental principles of crypto. But it's definitely the perception that other people have is not the same perception as what is. So I think that those are some of the issues that we've had and some of the places where I think definitely need to be improved. Now, this is not everyone in the community, right? We do have a large chunk of really people who are objective and people who look at the facts as they are in the space as well. So, but I think that the loud minority, as it were, have really somewhat been detrimental to the brand of Hex Pulse Chain, and they've also been detrimental to the relationship that we can create with other ecosystems. And I think it would be good that moving forward we start to try and build bridges instead of doing the opposite. Instead of saying that, if anything, just try and explain our positions and where we stand and what it is exactly that we are trying to achieve in better ways. I think definitely a rebrand is very, very important from where we are right now. Now, you might agree, you might disagree, but what I would argue is that let's not get in this spiral of escalating and escalating and escalating, where we create more and more enemies. I mean, Altcoin Daily tweeted that are hexagons allowed to disagree? Are we allowed to disagree? And I think that was a good question. But then in many times you get people to just start spitting talking points. They start talking those talking points without really thinking objectively, sitting down and saying, okay, what's true and what's not. I think there's the issue that I find in many cases, people are either or, right? If you say this, you're bullish and you're good. If you say this, you're bearish and you're bad. But from my perspective, I come from a more nuanced perspective that's somewhere in the middle. And so I think that's the major difference we have. But obviously everyone can't be the way that everyone can't look at life from my perspective. But I think we should be, at the bare minimum, we should be able to agree to disagree, agree to function in with other people who see things differently and accept them the way that they see things. That, okay, this is how you think, good for you, do your own thing, I'm going to do it this way, and without attacking other people. And one of the strange things that you realize as well is that everyone believes something until they are essentially told not to believe it anymore. Then they completely switch. So 1 minute people believe NFTs are bad and they're attacking everyone who talks bad about them. The next minute, when they get told that no, now we like this. Okay, we don't like admin keys. Well, now we like this particular admin key. I think it's important for people to be able to look at information objectively and be able to understand that there's nuanced perspectives to everything. And we have to be able to understand that some people are going to do things that we don't like, but we are going to let them be free to do what they want, and we're also going to be free to do what we want. And then we can push our message further together. Now, these are just my thoughts about all of the stuff, and I'm sure some people will not like it. Some people will like it, but either way, I think it's important for us to start looking more objectively at information, so that we can, if we're going to be partaking in a specific strategy, it's got to be a strategy that works, that can provably work. Anyway, guys, all in all, so that's that. But regardless of all of that, the basics of what's happened right now is that the ball is in the community's hand, and the community's hands, and the community has come together and continued building. Richard had posted that is some developments in regards to the bridge on testnet v4. So there's some building happening right now. So that can tell me one thing: if we continue to build, we'll continue to progress. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.